Hey, I'm Sil. I'm going to boot up the game so you can see the opening visual, and then I'll do the usual intro. Alright, well, I'm Sil, they, them, your friendly neighborhood leftist, vegan, autistic, antinatalist nerd, and we are going to start playing Balatro here. I've played before, it's very fun, very addictive. It's another roguelite, kind of like Hades, but whereas in Hades there's action, and requires a lot of quick thinking and reaction time. This game requires basically, strategic thinking, and anyone can play it at any pace that they want. I am going to start a new, I guess, profile for the sake of this series, because as you can see, I've been playing on my own, not too much. I've played a lot of the demo, but not a lot since release. I thought I might as well, wait with it to play on the channel. So yeah, let's start a new one. Let's call it Sil, or let's call it Antinatalist for the channel. All right. And thankfully, when you create a new account or a profile, the game also offers a tutorial, which is great because for the sake of people who haven't played this game before or haven't seen it, I do want to dedicate this first episode to kind of teach the ropes. But even after the tutorial, as I play, I'm still going to... Wait, I feel a sneeze coming. Okay, sorry. So even after the tutorial, as I play through the game, I'm still going to vocalize my thought process as I play the game, because I think that's, the crux of it, strategizing and coming up with ideas. So yeah, let's play, and you can learn along how the game works. Right off the bat, without thinking too much, let's just press play. Oh, okay, so maybe the game doesn't give you a tutorial. In that case, let's go to the main menu. Okay, I'm back, and unfortunately, there seems to have been an oversight in the development of the game, and you can't replay the tutorial unless you delete everything. And I don't want to delete my personal account, or rather my personal profile. So I think I'm just gonna try to, perform a makeshift tutorial for you as we play. So just like before, let's just press play without thinking too much, and I'll try to explain the rest. And without even looking too much at all this, I'm gonna enter the first level, as it were. Okay, so the way Balatro works is this. Every level, we need to clear a certain amount of points. For example, right now it's 300. In order to do that, we need to play poker hands. So for those of you who may not be familiar with poker hands, I'll get into them in a moment. However, in this game, each type of hand has a base score that it generates. So for example, if I manage to perform a straight, which I'll explain what it is in a moment, I would get 30 times 4, which is 120. Now, of course, there are hands that are better than others. For example, just one random card is a lot worse than, for example, 3 of a kind, right? So the better the hand, the better the score. But there are also ways to modify that. So for example, if I look at straight, it says 5 cards in a row, consecutive ranks. So in the example it shows 7, 8, 9, 10, and then jack. And in fact, right off the bat, when I look at my cards here, I see that I have a straight to play. So let's do that and see what happens. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the game tells us that that's a straight. That's a straight. It tells us that as a baseline, we're going to get 30 chips times 4 multiplier. And so let's see what happens. Let's play hands. As you can see, the values of the cards that participate in the hand are added into this chip score. So instead of 30 times 4, it ended up being 60 times 4. So the cards do matter. Now we only need 60 more points to win this level. So I think a 3 of a kind of 2 would work. But just in case I don't want to rely on my intuition, let's say I'm completely new to the game, I can actually try to calculate how much that will result in. For example, the baseline of 3 of a kind is 30 chips times 3 malt. And of course, I would add the value of each of those 2 to the chip total. So it's going to be 36 times 3, which is of course more than 60, and therefore more than enough to beat this level. So let's do that. There we go. So when we beat a blind, I guess that's what it's called, we get the reward from it. In this case, it's $3. And for each hand that we didn't use, which in this case it was 2, we get an additional $1 for free. This is a good time to mention that when playing each level, you have a limited amount of resources. You can't just continue playing poker hands, to your heart's content. There's a limited amount of hands that you can play, and you also get a certain amount of credits to discard hands. We didn't end up using it that round, but hopefully in the future rounds I'll get to showcase how it works. But basically, the game incentivizes you to beat each level or each blind with as few hands as possible most of the time, because then you get more money. But what do you do with money? Well, let's press cash out. We now have $9, and the thing where you spend the money is in the shop. After you beat each blind, you get access to the shop, which gives you the opportunity to buy upgrades to your run. What are upgrades? Well, if we look at our deck, we'll see that it's really a standard playing deck. There's one of each card spanning from 2 to ace across 4 different suits. And thankfully for people who might have some, color perception difficulty, the game also provides the option to make the colors very distinct from each other. So even if you have a hard time, distinguishing between, for example, spades and clubs, you can always try to rely on the colors provided. But yeah, so this deck is a standard playing deck. However, as the game goes on, we're going to have a chance to alter this deck in lots of different ways. On top of that, there are also other different types of upgrades that we can buy, but for now, let's keep things simple and see what would be the best to buy here. So at the center of the shop, the game is offering us jokers. And jokers don't actually enter the deck. Instead, they go up here. We have 5 joker slots that we can fill up with jokers from the shop or from other sources. And those jokers are going to be essential in guaranteeing that we beat the higher and higher difficulty levels as we progress through the game. Because, for example, the blind that we just beat, we only needed 300 points. But next up, we're going to need 450 points. We're going to be able to beat that even without a joker if we play our cards right. But again, it's going to get harder and harder. You're going to want to find jokers to basically make your life easier. For example, if you look at this joker here, we don't know what its name is because we haven't bought it yet, but we can see what its description and therefore what it does. So it says +5 hand size. You may have noticed previously that we could only hold up to 8 cards in our hand. This means that it'll go up to 13, which would make it a lot easier to, form very strong hands, right? But each round, meaning each blind that we play against, this number goes down by 1. So eventually it's going to just pop and disappear. So buying this is really great for the short term, but not very much long term, and we may want to use the money in a different way. For now, I'm not too thrilled about either of those jokers. I mean, I would love to buy this, but I can't because I don't have enough money. And I think, just for the sake of getting better stuff later, I'm just going to completely skip this shop and play the next round, because I'm confident that I can pretty easily beat 450 without any upgrades. So let's try that. Okay. Let's take a moment, for the sake of people who are not familiar with poker hands, to go over the different hands, how much score they give, and how easy it might be to score them, or rather to find them. A high card, you can literally play this anytime, and out of the 5 or less cards that you play, the highest value one is the only one that counts for scoring. And as you can see, the score for it is very low. It's 5 times 1 mult. Pair just requires, I guess I should read the tooltips. 2 cards that share the same rank. They may be played with up to 3 other unscored cards, and the value is 10 times 2. 2 pair. 2 pairs of cards with different ranks may be played with 1 other unscored card, and the value is 20 times 2. 3 of a kind, self-explanatory, 30 times 3. A straight, like we've done in the first round, is 5 cards in a row with consecutive ranks. A flush is 5 cards that share the same suit. So for example, 5 hearts and the numbers or the ranks don't matter. The value is 35 times 4. Full house is a combination of a 3 of a kind and a pair, which is 40 times 4. 4 of a kind, self-explanatory, 60 times 7, and a straight flush is, as the name suggests, a combination of both a straight and a flush. So they need to be consecutive ranks and of the same suit, which is very difficult to get, obviously, without any deck modifications. But the value of it is like very, very high. It's 100 times 8. So, with that in mind, let's see what hands we can craft easily here. I see that we have an ace, a king, and a queen. So if we manage to find even 1 jack and 1 10, we could craft a very high straight. And because we have lots of discard to play with, I think I'm going to do just that. I'm going to discard 3, 4, 5, 7, and the secondary queen, which I don't need, and see what we get instead of them. Surely enough, 10, jack, queen, king, ace. That's a straight. Let's play it. And it's worth mentioning that the face cards, meaning king, queen, and jack, they're all worth 10 chips each, whereas ace is worth 11 chips. So out of all of that, we got 324, which is really good. And immediately, I was trying to think what's the next best hand to play, possibly. And as you can see, we have 5 of the same suit, which is diamonds, and that's a flush. So even though the numbers don't form a straight, although actually they're very close, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be pretty fun, we don't need them to be in any unique relation to each other as long as they share the same suit. So let's just play flush, and I think that's going to beat this blind easily. There we go. So now we get $4 as a result of the blind, and also $2 because we haven't played 2 hands. And there's an additional source of revenue, which is you get $1 per $5 held in hand at the end of the round, so essentially interest. There's a limit to that. You can only get $5 from that per round, which means, up to... Essentially, you're incentivized to hold as many or as much as $25 in your hand before you finish a round, before, spending doesn't matter anymore. So let's cash out and see what we can get. Okay. We have a joker here that I might actually consider getting. We don't know its name, but its effect is played faced cards give +4 mult when scored. What does that mean? We remember that the way we score points is by multiplying a base amount of chips, so for example in 2 pair it would be 20, by a base amount of mult, which is short for multiplier, is the red here. And as you can see, the +4 mult here, when it says in the description, it's red to indicate that it goes here. And this can actually be pretty powerful because, the amount of chips that we get is very high, but the amount of mult that we get, as a baseline is very low, which means that every number that you can get over here is going to matter a lot in scoring. This is why this could be really good if we play a lot of face cards, which is, remember, kings, queens, and jacks. So I think just for the sake of having, an easy start, I'm gonna get that. And let's see what else we can get. There's a card here that says Earth, and it's not a joker because you don't see the word joker on it. What it says, it levels up the full house type of hand by +2 mult and +25 chips. So for example, right now, when we play a full house, the base score is 40 times 4. If we used the Earth card, it would turn it into 65 times 6, I think, right? Yeah, 65 times 6, which is going to be significantly better. And I'm really tempted to buy it, honestly. But yeah, because think about it this way. If we play full houses with a lot of face cards, that's going to, create a very, very high score, which is going to give us a lot of breathing room. Although I know that I do want to buy this voucher here. And what this voucher does for the rest of the run, it permanently gives you +1 discard per round. So instead of starting with 4 discards at the start of a round, we start with 5, which is going to give us a better opportunity to, build the hands that we want. Especially if we're going to go for something like full house, which can be a bit difficult to get. And since we're already considering, almost all of the store, might as well check out the rest. So a Celestial pack, you buy it, you don't know what's inside, and you choose one of up to 3 random planet cards to be used immediately. Planet cards are like Earth here. They upgrade the base value of different hands. But because we don't know what we get here, I think I'm going to skip that. And a Jumbo Standard pack. Choose one of up to 5 playing cards to be added to your deck. So remember, we have 4 of each number, right? This will allow us to increase our deck by adding another copy of a card that we already have. So for example, if we're going to go for faces, right? Kings, queens, and jacks, this pack might give us an opportunity to add more face cards to our deck and enable this joker a lot easier. But because I'm really low on money at the moment, I'm probably not going to buy that. I think... If I don't buy this voucher now, it's going to be replaced by a different one because we're going to, complete this, I guess, floor of antes, or floor of... I guess it's called an ante, right? So I guess it's worth, going over the terminology now. Every ante, you have to fight, so to speak, 3 different blinds. A small blind, a big blind, and a boss with a unique effect, which we'll see in a moment. And those vouchers are replaced every ante. So if we don't buy this now, it's going to go. It's going to be replaced by something else. So I think I'm going to buy that now. All right, now we have 5 discards per round. Let's play. So, the third blind of every ante is going to be a boss, and bosses have unique effects that make it harder to score or just make it harder to play, right? Certain stipulations that you have to abide by, only throughout their fight. So we're going to have to score 600 points while all heart cards are debuffed. And what debuffed means, which you'll see in a second, if you hover over this 5 of hearts for a moment, when it's debuffed, it basically doesn't score any chips to the final calculation in its hand, and also if it has any unique abilities, which we'll see further on in the game, they are disabled for this, for this round. Okay. So as mentioned, we're going to want to play as many face cards as possible. So I think I'm just going to discard all the ones that are not face cards. Let's keep doing that. By the way, sometimes it may be confusing. Aces are not considered face cards. Only the ones that have drawings of hierarchy on them. Or I should say monarchy, sorry. So I'm going to keep discarding because I want as many face cards as possible. Getting pretty unlucky here. In fact, I could play a straight, but because I want to win this round with as many hands as possible unplayed in order to gain more money, and I know that the smiley face is going to make it very easy to win the 600 score in one hand, I'm just going to completely discard this straight and hope for more face cards. There we go, this is a lot better. So, full house with only one king disabled. I could calculate it, just for the sake of proving my confidence here that it's going to be easy to win it in one hand. Let's calculate the score together. We're starting off with 40 times 4. Those queens and this one king are going to give us 10 chips each, so we're going to end up with 80 base chips. And then, on top of the 4 base multiplier, we're also going to get +4 multiplier for each one of the played face cards. Of course, excluding the King of Hearts because it's currently disabled. So 4 times 4, it's going to be 16, plus the original 4, it's going to be 20. 80 times 20, I don't have to calculate that right off the, immediately off the top of my head to tell you that that's certainly above 600, which is where my confidence in this comes from. So let's just play it. And if you beat, the score of a blind in one hand, it gives this fun little, flaming effect to indicate that you're on fire, as it were. Okay, we get $5 from the boss, $3 from each hand that we didn't play, total 8. Let's see what we are offered here. So this Joker says earn $5 if the poker hand is a straight flush, which is going to be very difficult to do. Poker hand changes on every payout. So this is not going to, make your score better, but it's going to offer you the opportunity to gain more money if you can manage to sneak the different types of hands that it, lists to you, right? I don't think I'm going to get that. This one, if the first discard of a round has only one card, destroy that card and earn $3. I think if we're going to go for a run that revolves around face cards, this is actually going to be fantastic on 2 fronts. One, it's going to allow us to discard low value cards, which essentially are not face cards in this case, and earn money on top of it. So even though it costs $5 now, it's really going to pay for itself really quickly, like within 4 rounds if we discard, each time. So I'm definitely going to get that. Let's see what the rest of the shop has to offer. So this voucher says raise the cap on interest earned per round to $10. We're not really close to being able to generate a lot of interest at the end of each round because we don't have a lot of money at the moment. So I think I'm going to skip on that for now. I mean, I don't have money to buy it, but even if I did, I would skip on it for now. And the 2 other options are Celestial Deck, which we're already familiar with, or an Arcana Pack, which is choose one of up to 3 tarot cards to be used immediately. What are tarot cards? Most of them let you modify your deck in certain ways. For example, there is a tarot card that can let you change the suit of different cards. For example, change 3 cards to diamonds, right? Which could be really good if you're building a deck around flushes for the run. There's lots of different, effects. I'm not going to go over all of them now. But I think at some point during this run, I am going to want to buy Arcana Pack, so you'll get the opportunity to see, different ones and what they do. For now, let's just play the next round. So, the upcoming boss, their effect is must play 5 cards. So we can't play just, a pair unless we add 3 other meaningless cards on top of it. Not a huge problem for me because, I am going to try to shoot for, as many face cards in a hand as possible. So I'm not concerned about this. And we've also seen earlier that the amount of score that we managed to generate is higher than 1600. So again, not concerned at all. Now, a new element that I haven't played or discussed before until now is that for the small blind and the big blind, so the first 2 rounds of an ante, instead of playing them, you could skip them and get a unique effect instead. For example, if we skip this blind, we're going to get a free spectral pack. I'm not going to get into what a spectral pack is right now because I don't want to overload information. And I know that I actually want to play as many blinds as possible now that I have this trading card joker. Because each round is going to allow me to thin out my deck and also gain more money. So I'm just gonna play. And you can see that the trading card is kind of like shaking in place to kind of like remind us that this is a good opportunity to play it. So immediately, I'm just going to get rid of this 2, not only because it's a very low value card, but also because it's going to allow me to thin my deck and make it easier to form hands with face cards over time. By the way, when it says destroy, it means for the rest of the run. So once I do this, first of all, we get money, but also we're not going to see the 2 of clubs for the rest of the run. And if we look at our full deck, now it's 51 cards instead of 52. So yeah. I think if I just get a 10 here, I'm going to be able to make a royal straight, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be enough to beat the 800 score. So let's just discard all of these and fish for a 10. Maybe I should say fish as a vegan. That's not a very friendly term. Okay, here's an interesting opportunity for, for some like thought exercise. I could keep discarding stuff. I could discard 1 jack, 1 ace, and these 7 and 2 because I only need 1 of each. I only need 10 essentially to complete this straight. But another thing I could do is try to discard all of these and find either another ace or another jack to complete a full house. But of course, if it turns out to be an ace, I'm not going to get as much mold from Smiley Face. A third option, which might be under our nose already, is what if I just play 2 pair? In the future, I might save myself time by just playing that if I can calculate that it beats the 800 score. So let's run it real quick. The chip base is going to be 20 plus 11 plus 11 plus 10 plus 10. That's going to be 62. And we're going to have 10 mold because of Smiley Face. 62 times 10 is not going to beat 800. So I do want to, continue fishing for, I keep saying fishing. I hope you know that by now that, I'm against fishing in real life. I'm just going to use this term because it's easier. So yeah, let's discard the 1 ace, 1 jack, and then the other 2. No 10 yet, but thankfully we have a lot of discards, so I'm just going to keep doing it. Man, this is a bit concerning. By the way, at any time, if you hover over the deck below my camera, in the bottom right, you can see which cards have not appeared this round yet. Essentially, it's kind of like a cheat, right? When you think about playing in real life, you're not gonna know which cards remain unless you're really good at counting cards, or unless you have like a very strong visual memory. But this game is not, the emphasis of this game is not, like card memory. It's more so like strategic thinking with the deck that you have. So it allows you to see how many cards, which cards you have not played yet per round. It shows you specifically, but it also shows you how many aces have not showed up yet, and it also shows you how many hearts have not showed up yet, etc. So I think, let's see, what's going to be more likely here. This is a good opportunity for an exercise. I'm going to discard. If I discard, all of these in an attempt to get a 10. I'm discarding 4 cards. There are only 31 cards remaining. 4 of them are 10, which I need. So I'm getting 4 opportunities, pair 4 opportunities of 10, which is 16, out of 31. That's one option. Another option, because I noticed that these cards are all spades, is that I could try to fish for 1 more spade and complete a flush. And I know that because these 3 are face cards, they're going to give us enough mold to beat this immediately. Let's see what the chances of that are. So again, discarding 4 cards, times 8 spades remaining, which is really like 32, right? Out of 31. Now, that doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but it's a much better chance than trying to fish for a 10. So I'm gonna go do that. And unfortunately, we didn't get it, but we did get a 10. So we can still complete, you know, a straight. Now, of course, if you kind of like intersect all the different options that could, you know, lead you to a victory, the chances are even higher, right? I could try to calculate in my mind what are the odds that I would get either a 10 or a spade in that situation. But because the chances are so high and I don't want to spend an eternity here, I'm just gonna, you know, play off the cuff, you know, via intuition. Let's see what our options are. I like the idea of buying Earth now, because we do often play full houses with, you know, faces. But another interesting joker here is played cards with heart suit give +4 mult when scored. So on top of face cards, we could also fish for hearts, and maybe even do, you know, flushes like that. If I remember correctly, the only card we've destroyed so far is a club. So we could get this, make things easier for ourselves because it's only like $5, right? And destroy not only like low value cards, but also any card that isn't a heart. Would be an interesting kind of like cross strategy to employ. So let's get that. And since we're likely going to try to go for more flushes, now that we have this joker, I'm not as keen on buying this Earth card and upgrading just full house. Do we want a standard pack or a jumbo standard pack? By the way, the difference between them is the price and also the amount of variety that you get to select from. So I think because I want to generate over time more interest, I'm just going to leave this shop for now. And I know, and you know, as a result, by the end of the next round, I'm going to generate 2 extra interest because I have $10 here. So let's play. Just for the sake of learning, let's see what this skip blind option offers us. Create up to 2 common jokers, which at face value seems like really good. But again, remember, I want to get... I feel really bad for using, you know, a lot of, you know, terms that have to do with animal exploitation. I was gonna say, like, I want to milk this card for all it's worth, but you know what? We're a vegan channel. The idea is to, you know, find, you know, to basically restructure our language to not include, you know, terms of exploitation. So I'm not going to say that, and I'm also not going to keep using the term fish. I'm going to make a, you know, a concentrated effort to come up with a different term to express what I mean. So basically, I want to derive as much value out of this trading card joker as possible, which means I want to play as many rounds as possible. So let's do that. Again, it's shaking to remind us that this is a good opportunity to use it. And I think this 2 of spades is a good opportunity to use because not only is it not a heart, but it's also not a face card. So goodbye, 2 of spades. What do I have here? I don't see any face cards. I see 2 hearts, which is good for Lusty Joker. And I see a relatively easy straight potential here. 6, 7, if we get an 8, 9, 10. But that's not very interesting to me. I think, for now, let's discard all of these in an attempt to get not only more hearts, but also more faces. 7, 8, 9, 10 is not enough for a straight. Queen is good. Let's... What's going to be easier here? Get a royal straight, get 5 hearts, or try to get, you know, some kind of full house going with these 2 10s. I think just to, you know, kind of showcase or show off Lusty Joker, let's shoot for you know, let's shoot for what's the word? Why is it escaping me? A flush of hearts. So we only need 1 more heart in order to make a flush. So let's just discard all of these. And there we are. So just for the sake of exercise, let's calculate immediately how much we're going to get from this. Because if this is not going to be enough, we might want to discard these cards in an attempt to get a higher, value heart. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. So, flush starts off at 35, plus 11 is 46, 55, 62, 66, 69 times 24, because we were going to get 20 mult from the Lusty Joker. That sounds like enough to me. Even without, running the calculation. That sounds enough. Yeah, and as you can see, we get the flame effect to indicate that we've bidden it in one hand. Just, I wouldn't say barely enough, but this is more close. This is closer than, a bit too close for comfort, I would say. So maybe I shouldn't be so confident with just winging hands like that without calculating. All right. So this is a different variation of Lusty Joker, but for diamonds. I'll consider it. I don't think we've destroyed any diamonds so far in this run, so could be good as well. In this one, so I think if I remember correctly, its name is Vagabond. But what it does is create a tarot card if a hand is played with $3 or less. We have a lot of money at the moment, and I don't intend to spend the majority of it in this shop, so I don't think I'm going to get Vagabond right now. I do want to, build up enough money to generate maximum interest as the round goes on. And again, it might be tempting to buy an Arcana pack now just to show to you what tarot cards can do, but we'll have plenty of time for that as the round goes on. For now, let's just keep playing. Right, play 5 cards. We know from the previous round that if we manage to get any flush of hearts going, even if most of the cards in it are relatively low value, we still get just a little bit more than 1600. So I'm really not worried about beating this hand. Beating this blind in one hand. Let's get rid of this 7 of diamonds because I don't want to get rid of hearts. Interesting. If we get a jack, we can do a straight, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the ante in one hand. So let's get rid of, again, let's try to shoot for a heart flush. A bit painful to, discard a queen and a king, but it's probably going to be for the best. No more hearts. Okay, we get a queen, which is really good. Let's, this time let's actually, make the calculation. Let's see if we're going to beat 1600 this way. 35, 46, 56, 66, 69, 71 times 24. I'm going to be a bit of a munchkin and open a calculator, which you can't see on, on camera at the moment. So what was it? I think it was 71 times 24. That's 1704. So definitely gotta play that. So after this round, I think I'm going to slightly increase the rate at which things are calculated in the game, because you already understand how things work. I think I'm gonna increase it to double speed. If it's too fast for you, you could let me know in the comments after the end of this video, and I might turn it down later. All right, so we have a lot of money now, definitely over 25, which means we're getting maximum interest per blind. Now is going to be a good time to spend. Let's see what the options are. So this is a tarot card, indicated by the fact that it's all kind of like sepia golden color. What this does is 1 in 4 chance to add a bunch of different words that might be overwhelming to learn at the moment to a random joker. So essentially what it does, it has a low chance of upgrading one of our jokers to be better. And I might actually do that, but first let's see what the other options are. This joker gives you plus 20 mult, which is really good, if played hand contains a 4 of a kind. With 5 discards, it's definitely going to be not that difficult to, find a 4 of a kind. So I might buy this and then try to shoot for, we could get rid of Lusty Joker and start aiming for 4 of a kinds of face cards. I think, just for the sake of variety, let's get it. Then, I'm curious to play this card, which is actually, the name is at the bottom, so it's called the Wheel of Fortune. Buy and use. No luck this time. That's fine. Let's see what the other options are. This voucher gives us +1 consumable slot. So if we bought the Wheel of Fortune and didn't use it right away, it would instead go to this section over here, where it says 0 out of 2. That means that we can hold for later use up to 2 cards that are either, tarot or, planets or other different types, which we haven't found yet. This would allow us to hold 1 more, but I'm not hurting for more, consumable slots at the moment, so I'm not going to buy that. And this might be a fun opportunity to open an Arcana pack to see a few more tarot cards. Okay, so when we open a pack, it gives us 8 playing cards from our deck that we can modify. Let's see what the options are. This one enhances 2 selected cards to be bonus cards. What is a bonus card? The tooltip on the left says plus 30 extra chips. So a good option, one good option is I could upgrade these 2 jacks and start trying to fish. No, not fishing. Sorry, I could, try to strive for 4 of a kind of jacks, including these 2 in future rounds. It's going to give us a lot more, mult because of this Joker. It's going to give us a lot more mult because of this Joker. And as the run progresses, it's going to become easier and easier to strive for 4 of a kind of a certain, rank because of trading card. So this is definitely a great option. Another option is Chariot, which enhances 1 selected card into Steel card. What does a Steel card do? The tooltip on the left says times 1.5 mult while this card stays in hand. Now, this might be a little bit confusing to you if you haven't played the game before. It was certainly confusing to me at first. What does 1.5 mult mean? The first impression that I had when I read this for the first time was, okay, so like, let's say we're playing a hand and we get 4 mult. So is it only going to add plus 1.5 mult? The answer is no. It actually, a bit confusingly in terms of phrasing, it multiplies the amount of mult that you generate by 1.5. So let's say, for example, we got the Mad Joker off and we get a little bit of mult from Smiley Face. We get up to like 30 mult over here in the red box. The 1.5x mult would turn it into 45, which can be massive. This means, Steel card only works when it stays in the hand. So, for example, if I found, 4 of a kind of jacks, if one of the jacks was Steel card, it wouldn't pop the effect. The only time it would pop the effect was if is another card in my hand that's not, another card that is not in the hand that I'm currently playing stays behind and it is a Steel card. So, for example, I could use that on a 2 and just never play this 2 when it's drawn. Instead, keep it in my hand for the times 1.5 mult instead. And the third option is the Devil. It enhances 1 selected card into a gold card. What does a gold card do? You gain $3 if this card is held in hand at the end of the round. So very similar to the Steel card, but only relevant at the end of a round when you win. I think I'm going to go with the first option and upgrade these 2 jacks. Now, do I want to also buy a Celestial pack? Since we're going to be going for 4 of a kind, it might be a good opportunity to buy this and see if we can upgrade the 4 of a kind hand, the base value. Although, if I want to, let's think about this. If I buy this, I'm going to go below $25, which means I'm not going to generate maximum interest the next round. However, if I destroy a card with the trading card Joker, I'm going to earn $3 back, which is going to put me back up at 25. So this is essentially ideal to do. No such luck with 4 of a kind. but I think the next one I'm curious to get is Earth, which is full house. So yeah, now when we look at the run info at Poker Hands, you can see that full house is level 2, whereas the others are level 1. But of course, it's worth mentioning that sometimes a lower level type of hand is still going to be worth more chips than an upgraded hand, because of course straight flush is a lot more difficult to get than a full house. Let's go. Yeah, and let's just play. I'm not too interested in getting bigger hand size, and I do want to get rid of as many cards as possible. Let's destroy 4 of diamonds. So we have a jack immediately. Let's just discard all of... Let's get rid of this ace rather than the 6 of hearts, because 6 of hearts might be good for Lusty Joker. No further jacks. I think I'm going to commit to it. Let's just see how many face cards we can get. Still have 2 more discards. Definitely not going to go for a flush of hearts at this point, this round. So I don't mind discarding this 10. And at this point, even though the jacks are more enticing to draw because of their bonus, at this point I think I'm just going to go for, as many queens, for the final queen. However, it's going to be very unlikely that in the next discard I'm going to draw the final queen. Because think about it, like if we look at the deck, there's only 1 queen remaining. Even if I discard the jack, it's only going to be 5 opportunities to draw it. 5 out of 25. That's not very likely. So instead, I'm going to leave the jack at the hope that maybe, if not a queen, we would get at least another jack to form a full house. And we got lucky. So now instead of 3 queens and 2 jacks, I'm going to use... I guess it doesn't matter. We can do the same. And as you can see, when you play, for example, a Queen of Hearts, you get the bonus both from Smiley Face and also from Lusty Joker. And we got maximum interest. Okay. This Joker gives plus 80 chips, which is a decent amount, if played hand contains a flush. We don't play flushes very often, and I think as the run goes on, I do want to get rid of Lusty Joker in favor of other Jokers, because remember, we only have space for 5. I'm not interested in upgrading pair, because we don't really play a lot of pairs. And again, I'm not hurting for more consumable space, so I think I'm just going to buy 2 Arcana packs. That might make it easier to, get our run going. Let's read the different options. Hermit doubles money at the maximum of 20. So even though, we have 33 at the moment, it's not going to give us 33, it's only give us 20 maximum. Still really, really good. Death, select 2 cards, convert the left card into the right card. So what we could do, for example, is get rid of this 4 and turn it into a King of Hearts, which again is going to make it easier for us to either get 4 of a kind of kings, or just in general play more face cards, because we draw more. So that's a good option, I would say, as well as this. And Empress enhances 2 selected cards to Molt cards. What is a Molt card? It essentially gives you +4 Molt when you play it. I think I'm more interested in these 2 options. And because I want the deck to become, as easily played as possible, basically, kind of like plays itself, I am going to go for the Death option. Also, incidentally, it is my personally favorite tarot card in the game, because of how versatile it is. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get to duplicate a bonus jack, because, and the reason it's unfortunate is because if we did, the 4 that we just got rid of would not only turn into a jack, it would turn into a bonus jack. So, yeah, would have been very nice. Let's get the other tarot pack too. Oh, notification, deck unlocked. I guess we'll read how that happened and what that deck does after the run is over. So we're already familiar with the Hierophant, change 2 cards to bonus. Hanged Man destroys up to 2 selected cards, which would be really good. Get rid of these 2, thin out our deck, and be able to draw face cards more consistently. Or High Priestess creates up to 2 random planet cards. Could be nice, to get, the planet that is associated with 4 of a kind. But again, it's a bit of a gamble, and I think I want to make my deck, you know, as consistent as possible, so I'm going to use Hangman to get rid of these 2 3s. By the way, another option in the shop that I haven't mentioned yet is that for $5, you can re-roll what shows up in this section here. But each time you use a reroll, like for every time that you use a reroll within the same shop, the reroll cost becomes higher and higher. And again, because I don't think I'm going to want to spend a lot of money here, I'm just going to play the next round. Let's take a look at the boss effect real quick. It's called the Flint. And what it does, base chips and malt are halved. So if we play, for example, you know, a straight, instead of starting off at 30 times 4, it's going to start off at 15 times 2. If you don't have a lot of jokers, they give you, you know, extra malt and extra chips. This can be a bit devastating, but thankfully we have quite a lot of, you know, jokers that give us malt. So I don't think this is going to be the end of the world. Let's get rid of 8 of diamonds. Then out the deck. Immediately I see a straight with 3 face cards and also a heart. Oh, actually 2 hearts if I play this 10. This is why you need to be, you know, very observant with the options that you have. So let's play that and see what happens. I don't think it's going to beat... I don't think it's going to win. Oh, you know what? Another option is maybe try to go for 4 of a kind of 10s. Although it's not going to give us any bonus from Smiley Face, and it's only going to give us Lusty Joker bonus once. So I think it's actually better to go for this straight. I don't think it's going to win in one hand though. Let's see. Yeah. Not even close. Not even half even. But that's fine. We did get the third 10, which is nice, but I'm curious to play more so with this Queen and Jack here. You know, we haven't played the Ace of Clubs yet, and we haven't played the King of Clubs yet. Who knows, maybe we can go for a straight flush here, since we already have 3 out of the 5 pieces. So let's discard. Do I want to get rid of this ace though? I think if we just play another straight with this bonus jack, the chip bonus is going to be enough to carry us to victory. So I'm going to do that. Interesting. So we have both bonus jacks here. I could play this straight. And in fact, again, with 2 hearts, it might just be enough. Let's calculate. Let's, you know, be, you know, let's be, what's the word I'm looking for? Never mind. Let's just work it out. So 30 times 4, we're getting essentially, okay, 30, 40, 80, 90, 100, 111 times 4. 3 face cards is another 12, so 16 plus 8 from hearts, 24. So that is, let me calculate it real quick, 24 times 111, that's 2664, which is going to be enough to carry us. There we go. Okay, lots of money. Let's see what we can get. The Magician Tarot card enhances one selected card into a lucky card. What is lucky? Anytime it's played, it has a 1 in 5 chance to give plus 20 mult, which is massive, and a 1 in 15 chance, which is, admittedly is pretty low, but still I've seen it happen, to win $20, which would be also massive. I think I'm gonna buy it. I think I'm gonna buy a standard pack to see if we can get either more hearts or more faces into our deck. Oh, and it's worth mentioning that in standard packs, sometimes the cards in it can be upgraded, so like have unique effects to them. Let's see what the effects are here. This is a wild card. You can see that its icon is kind of like smeared, right? A wild card is basically any suit. So if I play, you know, 4 hearts and then this as well, it's going to be a flush of hearts, and it's also going to give us the bonus from Lusty Joker. Glass card. has a 1 in 4 chance to be destroyed when you play it, but when it's played, it doubles the amount of malt that you have. So, you know, essentially Jack of Hearts is fantastic. I'm gonna go for that. Now, a Buffoon pack. Jumbo Buffoon pack, which costs $6, allows us to choose one of up to 4 Joker cards. And because we have another Joker slot empty, I might as well get that. See what Joker we can get. All right, let's see all the different options. Diamonds is showing up again. I'm not interested because we already have destroyed some diamonds, I believe. Yeah, we're very low on diamonds, so no thanks. This Joker, every played card counts in scoring. This might be a bit confusing, but essentially, if I play like a wild card, for example, right? Remember, let me show it here. If I play a wild card, remember that like only the highest card is, played in scoring, right? So in this case, in the example in the tooltip in front of us, only the 11 chips from the ace would count, right? All the other cards that I play in the hand won't count. What that Joker does is, even if I play a hide card or a pair with cards that normally wouldn't be scored, it actually does score them instead. But because we're playing lots of 4 of a kind, lots of flushes, lots of straights, and lots of full houses, all of which have 5 cards in them, I think this is not going to be very useful. Vampire looking Joker. It gains an additional times 0.2 malt per enhanced card. Remember that enhanced card is something like bonus or lucky, which is the one that we're going to use, per enhanced card played. But when it does, it removes the enhancement. So like if we play a jack here with either the wild or the bonus, it's not going to be bonus or wild anymore, or lucky in this case. But the extra times malt is going to be very, very useful, especially since we're generating a lot of malt from other sources. So this is definitely a consideration. And finally, earn an extra $1 of interest for every $5 you have at the end of round. So essentially, if we're getting $5 interest at the end of the round, because we're above 25, this would give us 5 more and would allow us to build up our economy even faster, as kind of like indicated by the drawing of the Joker. So this is an interesting choice. As you see, we're not one-shotting, the blinds anymore with the Jokers that we have. So getting additional malt over time and building it up would be pretty cool. But this would allow us to get more money. I don't think I'm hurting for money this run, so I think I'm gonna get this. And we're gonna try to find as many enhancements for cards as possible, which in retrospect is a good thing that I bought this Magician then. And finally, this Joker. Each face card held in a hand, remember not played, held in hand, has a 1 in 2 chance to give $1. In this case, buying this Joker would actually be a counter synergy with a smiley face that we have. So I don't think I'm gonna get it. And again, I'm still not interested in this consumable slot, so let's just play. Let's get rid of the 3 of clubs. I was about to say fish again. Need to remember not to do that. Let's search for either more queens or more aces. No, but aces are not gonna proc smiley face. Let's have fun. Let's shoot for queens and kings. Oh, there we go. We got 4 of a kind of queens. That's very lucky. So because I could try to win this in one hand, right? But let's actually get Vampire going as much as possible. I'm going to play this Jack on its own, so that Vampire sucks the wild out of it, and gets a bigger mult. So then when I do play the 4 of a kind of queens, the end result is going to be even higher because the extra mult, the extra times mult that it gets. There we go. So of course, in terms of score, that was a shit hand, but now Vampire is stronger. And in fact, let's do this again. I'm going to turn this king into lucky and play these cards, so Vampire can suck the lucky out of it. And as a result, when we do play the 4 of a kind of queens now, it's going to be that much stronger thanks to Vampire. So just for fun, let's see what the score is going to be. Let's try to calculate it together. This is going to be 30, and this is going to be 3.5. 30 plus 40 is 70. Molt starting at 3. Let me open the calculator real quick, just so I don't forget the chip value. So it's going to be 70 times 3.5 plus 16, so 19.5, plus 4, 23.5, plus 20, 44.5, and then times 1.4 on that. So 44.5, let me do that real quick. 44.5 times 1.4 is 62.3. And then we multiply that by, what was it? I think it was 70, right? Yeah. That's going to be 4,300, which unfortunately is still not enough. That's a bit concerning, but it's the best we've got, so let's do it. Okay, what do we do now? We don't have, I mean, we still have a lot of jacks and kings, so we could try, with a lot of discards, we could try to go for that. We're close to a flush of clubs, but it's not going to give us a lot of, chips at all. There are still 6 hearts in the deck, so we could go for a flush. And there's also straight potential here, so like 6, 7, or like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. I think none of those are going to be enough. I think we should either go for as many, we should go basically for as many hearts and face cards as possible. So let's do that. Okay, we're getting some jacks, that's good. I'm going to, there are also 2 more 10s in the deck, so it might be a good idea to, almost said fish again, go for as many 10s as possible, or rather for another 10, so maybe we can get, a full house going with those jacks. So yeah, let's do that. Ooh, for a kind of 10. So now the question is, what's going to be better? Let's turn this into an exercise. 4 of a kind with 10. 30, because remember the effect, plus 40 is 70, times, this is going to be easy, 3.5 plus 4 is 7.5, plus 20 is 27.5, times 1.4. You know what, I don't have the patience to calculate it. Let's just go for it. Oh, it actually rounds up to 4, that's interesting. So yeah, was definitely enough. And we unlocked a unique joker, which we'll see later on. By the way, I recognize that the video is like already a bit over an hour at this point, and we're only halfway into the run. I think the first episode of Balatro is going to be longer than usual, simply because, I'm kind of like giving the basics, with kind of like teaching the ropes. So fret not, future episodes might be, more close to the 1 hour mark. So yeah, now that I think at this point you kind of get the gist, right? You know what everything does. The only things I would, kind of like slow down for are reading new jokers, reading new effects and stuff like that. I'll start speeding up my thought processes. We have a lot of money. Earn $5 if 3 or 4 or more face cards are discarded at the same time. Again, counter synergy with smile face, so no thanks. And we know this already, so we don't want it. Let's buy an Arcana. So Temperance gives you an amount of money equal to the combined sell value of all of your jokers. Right now, the combined sell value is 11, so we'd get $11. It's a decent option. Creates a random joker card. We can't do that at the moment because we have 5 out of 5 jokers. I could get rid of the lusty joker and then, just find another random one, but I don't know what it's going to be. Or the stars, or star, I should say. Convert up to 3 selected cards to diamond, which we really don't want. What do we do here? $11 or a random joker? I think let's go for $11. At worst, it's going to allow us to, if we want, a better Joker here, we could reroll and then buy one with that amount of money. But before that, let's buy a Jumbo Buffoon pack and select 1 out of 4 Jokers. Okay. All face cards become gold cards when played. And what again, a gold card gives you money when it's not played. However, this actually might be the key to winning the run. Because remember, a gold card is an enhanced card. And when an enhanced card is played, the vampire sucks the enhancement out of it. This is essentially a generator for enhancements, which could feed the Joker indefinitely. So I think I'm going to go for this, but let's real quick just go over the other options. Plus 150 chips, which is really nothing to scoff at, if played hand contains a 4 of a kind. This one, plus 50 chips, which is, I would say, not that great, if played hand contains a pair. And it's worth mentioning that, for example, if you play 4 of a kind, or 3 of a kind, or full house, technically there is a pair within that, so you would still get the bonus. However, this is a good opportunity to mention additions. So cards on top of modifications or enhancements can have additions. For example, the addition of this card is holographic, which just gives it a flat plus 10 molt. Normally that's pretty nice, but at the moment I'm not particularly interested in this Joker, so I'm gonna say no. And Raised Fist. Okay, I know that it's called Raised Fist because I'm familiar with it, but this Joker basically adds double the rank of the lowest card held in hand to Molt. So let's say we're playing a hand, and out of that, some cards are left behind. Let's say the lowest ranked card that's left behind is a 4. Essentially, this card is going to give us 8 Molt for that hand. Not very useful. I mean, could be useful because we're destroying, I should say, a lot of low value cards. But again, I think this is definitely going to be the key to winning this run. So I'm going to get rid of Lusty Joker and get this. Now, we have a lot of money, and we've noticed that we're kind of struggling to win in one hand. So I am going to play 1 reroll and see if we can get something good out of it. This Joker just gives us 1 plus hand size. Normally it would be pretty nice, but I don't want to get rid of any of the other Jokers for that. And then this Joker gains plus 4 chips if... When a hand is played, it adds 16 chips to the total. However, that 16 chips number is going to go up by 4 chips if anytime a played hand has exactly 4 cards. We're not going to do that for the most part, I think. But it's worth mentioning that cards like this are worth getting very early on in the run because it allows you to build them up over time. I think a lot of people usually call that scaling over time. So I don't want to buy either of these. And I think as time goes on, this combination here is going to save us. So let's do that. We have the option to skip here. Gives $5 per skipped blind this run, and because we haven't skipped any blinds so far, it's going to give us just $5. Definitely not worth it. Let's look at the boss real quick. Play only 1 hand type this round. So if we play a 4 of a kind, we're not going to be able to play other hands during that round. Let's play. Gonna get rid of this 3 of hearts because now we don't need hearts anymore. And I do want to play as many face cards as possible. So let's start simple. Let's play these 2 jacks with these 3 6s. And I wonder actually... So the order of Jokers actually matters, because I think if Midas goes first, it's going to first turn stuff into gold, and then within the same turn, the vampire is going to suck it out, right? Whereas if the vampire is first, what would happen is first it's going to suck the jack of the bonus here, and then the jacks are going to become gold, which I think in the long run is going to be better. Though in the short run, it would be better to do Midas first. I think we're relatively safe, so I'm just going to play with Vampire first. So yeah, first the Vampire sucks it, and then Midas turns it into gold, which is really nice. Now I think I'm going to put it back. 9, 10, Jack, Queen. I would actually really like to play this, so in order to turn both of these into gold and have vampires suck them. So really, we only need King, which would be ideal because then it would also turn into gold, or an 8. So let's get rid of these altogether and go for either of those. Okay, perfect, we got a King. So now we can play this straight. All 3 of the face cards are going to become gold, and then the vampire is going to feed. Still not enough to win the hand, but that's fine because it gives us another opportunity to, you know, get more face cards going. Let's see how many face cards we have left. We have 3 kings, so that would be good to go for. 3 queens, 2 jacks. Let's do that. I'm gonna discard all of these. Okay, perfect opportunity. Do I want to go for another king though? I think we're going to win with the next hand no matter what. So let's go for that. Okay, no such luck. Oh, we still have another discard, so let's do that. No such luck, that's fine. Because of this bonus here, I'm going to put vampire first, because we're going to win this hand anyway. By the way, the order in which you kind of like structure your hand doesn't really matter as long as it contains all the different, you know, pieces for the hand that you want to play. Perfect. So already, you know, after just one round, Vampire, I think, went up from 1.6 to 2.4 mult, which is fantastic. Okay. First played face card gives ×2 mult when scored. However, you know, this might sound very tempting because, you know, times 2.4 times 2 is going to be a lot, right? However, this works as soon as the face card is played, before we get all the you know, bonus mult from jokers. So even if we play like 4 of a kind, right, or full house, it's still only going to turn this 6 to 12 or 7 to 14. And for a joker slot, I don't think that's great here. I will buy this earth and use it right away. This is still the voucher, I don't want it. Let's buy a jumbo pack, see if we can get more face cards. We did, but before I grab this ace, it might be a good opportunity to mention seals. So, on top of enhancements and on top of additions, you can also get seals as a separate category on top of your cards. What seals do? Just, you know, let's read the effect. So a blue seal creates a planet card if this card is held in hand at the end of the round. So similarly to the gold card, if I, you know, leave it in hand and it gains money when I finish the round, this would just generate a planet card to this section here, the consumable section. Not too keen on that, so let's just get the jack. And another good opportunity to showcase what a spectral pack is. So let's open it. As opposed to, you know, the Arcana packs and the, you know, the planet packs, this gives you a smaller variety to select from. It only gives you 2 for a basic pack. Let's see what the options are here. Ankh creates a copy of a random joker, destroy all other jokers. No thanks. We have a great thing going here. I don't want to lose it. But this seems really good. Destroy 1 random card in your hand and add 3 random enhanced face cards to your hand, which is going to be fantastic for our combo here. So definitely going to do that. And let's just hope that it destroys one of the other number cards rather than the a face card here. Okay. It's unfortunate that it destroyed a queen, but thankfully, in return, we got 3 cards that are enhanced that the vampire is going to be able to feed off of. Let's reroll once because we can afford it. This joker gives you a random amount of mult, I think ranging between 0 to 20 something every turn. It's inconsistent and I don't feel like I need it at the moment, so I'm gonna skip. And this joker earns $4 at the end of the round. But again, we're not hurting on money, so I'm just gonna skip. Uncommon tag. Shop has an uncommon joker. So essentially, if I skip this, and then, you know, because remember, when you skip a blind, you don't get a shop right away. You have to basically fight the next blind. If I do this, I'm gonna have to fight the boss right away, and only afterwards, when I visit the shop, it guarantees that there's going to be an uncommon joker, which is basically like, you know, a high quality joker. I don't think I want that. I think I just want to play not only to, you know, thin out the deck with trading card, but also to get more of these going. Let's get rid of four of spades. And right off the bat, perfect opportunity to, you know, feed the vampire quadruple. So let's do that. I do need to be careful with scoring though. So yeah, let's get rid of these. Could do this full house here. And I'm gonna put Midas first, so the vampire sucks 5. Oh, I guess 3, actually. My bad, because remember, aces are not faces. We got unlocked a new joker for the account. Alright. Create a planet card if played hand contains 2 or more 8s. We're not going for 8s this deck, so this is useless. Plus 20 mult, so pretty good, but minus 4 mult per round played. And after 5 rounds, this is going to go pop. Now, the addition, as you can see, it has like a unique like lighting effect on it. It's called Foil, which just gives you flat out plus 50% chips, which is really nice. But not only do I not want to sacrifice anything here, I also don't want to spend a lot of money right now for something that's going to pop after 5 rounds. Let's buy a standard pack, see if we can get another face card going. No face card, but... Okay, so this is a conundrum. Do I want to get, you know, this 5, which is not only bonus, which means the vampire is going to be able to suck it, but also a gold seal, which is earn $3 when this card is played and scores. I think, just for the sake of, you know, keeping the deck as consistent as possible with face cards, I'm just going to skip here. Because remember, we're generating a lot of enhancements with this, so we don't need extra enhancements from outside sources, especially if they're not faces. And let's buy a jumbo celestial pack. So we get to choose out of 5. Let's go for 4 of a kind, which is Mars. Let's reroll once. Plus 100 chips if the hand contains a straight, no thanks. And this looks like a credit card. Go up to minus 20 debt, minus $20 in debt. Not interesting because we're pretty good on money. All right, play only one hand type this round. So we can't do a lot of the, you know, Midas and vampire shenanigans. Let's get rid of this 6. What hand do we want to play the most of? Just to be safe, let's calculate real quick. Let's say we get a 4 of a kind of jacks going. The base is going to be 90 times 10 plus 40 from the chip value of the jacks, so 130. Let me open the calculator. 130 times 10 plus 16 is 26, plus 20 is 36, plus, times at least 3.8. Let's do that. 46 times 3.8 is 174 times 8 times 100 and how much was it? 130. That's 22,700. So definitely going to beat it in one hand. And this is the power of the vampire. So let's just do that. Let's be safe. Just go for as many face cards as possible. Already 3 jacks. Do we want to go for jacks or kings? There are 5 more kings and 4 more jacks. I think I'm just going to go for jacks. Yeah, let's just discard this king. There's another king. Please. This is actually pretty dangerous. Because if we don't get a jack here, we're going to be forced to play 3 of a kind or, you know, full house for the rest of this round. And I don't know if that's gonna allow us to win, but let's see what happens. Okay, thankfully, we didn't only get another jack, we also got another 1.5 mult, which is going to be pretty fun. So I'm, you know, I'm expecting the end result number here to go pretty wild. Let's see what happens. Yeah, 35,000. That's pretty good. And thankfully we survived the effect of this boss. Okay, lots of money to work with. Ooh, okay, this is nice. A voucher for the rest of the run. Basically everything in the shop is going to be 25% off. I'm gonna get that right away. So now standard pack. Definitely gonna go for a king, but on top of that, it has a red seal. And what red seal does is re-trigger this card one time. So if we ever get to play this king in a relevant hand, what's going to happen is it's going to get 4 mult, then it's going to become gold, then the vampire is going to suck it and get more times mult, then it's going to give us 4 more mult, then it's going to become golden again, and then the vampire is going to suck it again. So red seal in the right circumstances can be phenomenal. So we'll see how it works. Arcana. We know Temperance, which is going to be $8 in this case, so good option. Moon converts up to 3 selected cards to clubs, not interesting. And Tower enhances 1 selected card into a stone card. At face value, and by the way, stone card has no rank or suit, but it provides 50 chips, which is good, you know, for small hands like, like high card or to accompany like pairs and stuff like that. However, it's an enhancement, and an enhancement is nothing to scoff at. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna enhance a queen and try to add it to 4 of a kind of either jack or a king afterwards, because then it's going to turn it back from a stone into a queen. Although $8 is nice as well. No, I'm gonna go for the enhancement. Okay. Played face cards have a 1 in 2 chance to give $2 when scored. Pretty good, you know, especially because we're going to play a lot of face cards. However, do I want to get rid of any joker here for it? I still want to, you know, eventually I'm gonna want to get rid of trading cards, because by the final fight in the run, it's not going to be helpful, right? Eventually I want to get rid of it, but not now, I think, because I still want to get rid of as many numbers as possible. And I don't think I want to get rid of anything else. I'm also not hurting for money, so I'm just gonna reroll. Okay. Adds 1 stone card to the deck when blind is selected. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to test what happens when just a completely random stone card gets into the deck and then vampire sucks it. Like, what would be, you know, the number behind it? My hunch, you know, my gut feeling says it's probably just going to be random, and we don't want that because that's just going to bloat our deck with numbers instead of faces. So I don't want that. This joker gains +3 chips per discarded spade card, and the suit in this joker changes every round. Too late to start, you know, incrementing and like building up, and also not a very good synergy with everything that we have going on. So let's just play. The skip option here says rerolls in the next shop start at 0. So what it means is like the first reroll is going to be 0, then the next reroll is going to be 1 and 2 and 3, etc. Again, not very interesting. I want to get rid of as many cards as possible, and I want Midas and Vampire to work as much as possible. Could do something with these 8s, but again, I want to play as many face cards as possible. I am going to keep the 9 in case we get a 10, which would allow us to, you know, make a straight here. No such luck, so I'm going to get rid of it now. And I'm going to get rid of the queen as well, because we don't have a lot of those at the moment. Okay, perfect. Perfect opportunity to, you know, show how King of Clubs, how the red seal works. So actually, I'm gonna temporarily change the game speed to 1 so you can see it in real time and not miss it. So everything becomes gold. Everything is eaten. Oh, I guess it doesn't work that way? That's a shame. Okay, disregard. But still. Lots of score thanks to Vampire. Alright, let's turn the game speed back up to 2. Okay. When blind is selected, destroy Joker to the right and permanently add double its sell value to this mult. I don't plan on getting rid of any of these Jokers, so I'm not going to do that. And just +1 discard could be useful, but again, don't want to get rid of any of these. Jumbo pack. No face card, but let's see what Purple Seal does. I mean, I know what it does, but creates a tarot card when discarded. So, you know, at face value, we don't want numbers, right? But we're gonna want to discard numbers, so this is actually a good option. And I do want to get as many, you know, tarot cards as possible to generate as many enhancements as possible for Vampire to suck. So I'm gonna take that. And let's see what Joker we could find. Actually, because this is a Mega Buffoon pack, which costs more, we get to choose 2 out of these. So right away, my eyes immediately jump to this one. If you know what it is, you probably know why, but we'll get to it last. Let's see what the other options are first. Earn $2 per discard if no discards are used by the end of the round. We do use discards, so no thanks. This gives 92 chips, but at the moment, but basically for every card in the deck, remaining in the deck, at any given time, it gives +2 chips. We've destroyed a lot of cards, and our deck is relatively thin right now, so no thank you. +2 of Malt if the hand has 3 of a kind. Could be nice, but still, no thanks. Which again, remember, this is going to be, you know, counted within 4 of a kind. And then we get to this one, which is probably going to make this run go insane. All cards are considered face cards. So from now on, no matter what we play, this is going to work, this is going to work, and this is going to work. And because all cards are going to be face cards, there's no longer a reason to hold on to trading card, because there's no reason to discard more cards. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Gonna get this for sure. And do I want this? This is going to give us 20 malt now almost all the time. So this is worse. This is 20 malt, so this is worse. And these 3 are basically like the perfect, you know, trifecta. So I'm gonna skip here. Let's reroll. See what we can get. For $2, I might as well just upgrade 2 of a kind. We can afford it. Who knows, it might be what saves us, you know, in a pinch. And then this card, +20 malt if played hand contains 3 or fewer cards. Counter synergy with our deck because we want to play as many cards as possible. Let's move on. By the way, I haven't paid attention to the effect of the boss here. After play or discard, always draw 3 cards. So there are interesting dynamics with this, but we'll get to it in a moment. And we don't want this, so let's just play. Now we can essentially play whatever we want. I could play, you know, so let's put it this way. I'm gonna go for, you know, 4 of a kind with jacks. So let's play 2 pair and make the aces and 10s into gold, which Vampire would then suck. Oh, and it actually... Okay, not only a played card, but all cards in the hand become gold. So even that king, which wasn't considered in scoring, turned out to be gold. That's amazing. Let's discard this 5, so we can get, you know, a tarot card. I'm gonna discard this ace as well. Okay, strength. This is also one of my favorites. Increases the rank of up to 2 selected cards by 1. So what we're gonna be able to do, if we look at our full deck, we have, although actually now that we have this Joker, it's not gonna matter. But just to make things easier, let's try to turn as many queens into kings as possible and as many 10s into jacks as possible. So this is a good opportunity, I think, to turn this queen into a king and this 9 into a 10, which we could later turn into another jack. And already we have, you know, 4 of a kind. And this 10 is going to, you know, be counted for Midas as well. We know these already, so no thanks. Let's get an Arcana pack. Let's create a Joker, no thanks. Glass Guard, no thanks. And Hearts, no thanks. Might as well turn this 7 into a Glass Card and play it at some point just to, you know, get, you know, Vampire going. And then Jumbo Arcana pack. We get to choose 1. Okay, so we could turn this 10 into a Jack with Strength. We could get 2 more enhancements, which, you know, long term is not going to be that much of a difference. Or we could get money. I think let's just make things easier. Get more Jacks. Reroll once. Stars is not interesting. In this Joker, earn $1 at the end of round. Gains $2 when boss blind is defeated. So yeah, let's keep going. So the boss effect is, after play or discard, always draw 3 cards. Let's see how that works. You know, just to feed. Now that I think about it, why not play shit hands early on to feed Vampire more? So like 6, 8, 10, Jack, and King. This is going to be high card, which is like not high value at all. But because we have hands to spare, we're going to be able to feed Vampire more by the time we finish this boss. So let's do that. And see, this is like the issue. Like now, even though we've played 5 cards, we're only drawing 3 back. So this might not be the best boss to, you know, do that strategy with. I think I'm just going to go safe. Let's discard these 3. Discard the 5 so we get a tarot card. We'll keep the stone so the Vampire can suck it. Let's turn this 8 into this King, because it's going to get the red seal with it as well. And no matter what happens, we're going to win here, right? Because 4 of a kind. So now let's do the strategy that I mentioned before, which is like turn as many cards as possible into, you know, for Vampire to suck. Oh, interesting. It shows that it's a queen because it's going to be changed. That's cool. Play all these. Okay, good opportunity. So you might ask yourself, hold on, the hands here only show up to straight flush. What happens if we play 5 of a kind? There actually is a unique hand for it with a unique value that doesn't show up here. So it's just slightly better than straight flush. Now, also, if you're very experienced with poker hands, you might recognize that thanks to, you know, card modification, we could also get 5 of a kind flush, right? If all of these were hearts, right? And there is indeed a higher quality hand even for that, as well as for flush full house or flush house. But we're very far from that. Let's just. So is it going to be better to play this 5 of a kind or 4 of a kind? I think we're gonna win either way, and I do want to feed Vampire as much as possible. So I'm just gonna, you know, use one of those kings to, you know, turn into gold now. And then the next hand is the final one, so, you know, we're not gonna fuck around. We're just gonna play all of these. Over 100,000. That's pretty fun. And we unlocked another voucher for future runs. Okay. No thanks. Earn $1 for each 9 in your full deck at the end of the round. Currently, we only have 9 in the deck, and this is really not interesting, so no thanks. And we've seen this one before. This is going to allow us to generate more interest over time. So definitely going to get that. Standard pack. This would be pretty fun. Let's take that. Do I actually want it? Sorry, I'm getting hiccups. Yeah, let's get it. We could generate some, you know, some planet cards with that. Speaking of which, no 4 of a kind, unfortunately. Let's upgrade 2 pair. Okay, next round. Okay, gives $1 per unused discard this run. Will give $27. Again, this is very tempting, but I want to feed Vampire as much as possible. So, let's do... Again, let's start with shit hands. This is okay. Though maybe I should have kept the jack. Okay, we have 4 of a kind kings. We're going to beat this no matter what. So now let's... And we have 5 discards, and there are 5 kings remaining, so might as well use another king here. By the way, the game unfortunately has only one musical track in the background, like in its soundtrack. So I think after a few episodes, once, you know, this track is going to like get old, I might seek out, you know, a solution for, you know, more variety for music. But we'll get there. I should have used another king, actually. My bad. No, wait. I'm... And then the Joker says, I'm literally a fool. What's your excuse? Yes, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I didn't pay attention to the amount of hands left. I was greedy to feed Vampire as much as possible. I'm a fool. There really isn't any excuse. Let's go to the main menu and see what we unlocked. Okay. So we unlocked this card, we don't know its name, which is +2 hand size, -1 hands per round. So again, a bigger variety of cards to select for during the game, but less hands throughout a fight or throughout a blind to play, which can be dangerous. And we got that by winning 5 consecutive rounds by playing only 1 hand. We unlocked the blue deck, which gives us +1 hand every round, which is very nice. By the way, the deck that we just played instead gives us +1 discard every round. By reaching ante level 4, we unlocked this card, which is Joker, Tarot, Planet, and Spectral cards may appear multiple times, so you could get duplicates, which could be really good for, you know, certain strategies. By earning at least 10,000 chips in one hand, we unlock this, which doubles all listed probabilities. So for example, 1 in 3 becomes 2 in 3. Again, very useful for certain strategies, maybe not for all of them. Max out the interest per round earnings for 10 consecutive rounds unlocks this voucher, which raises the cap on interest earned per round to $20, which is insane. And this is it. So because I ended up, in my foolishness, losing the run earlier than I expected, I might actually just keep this episode, you know, combine one long episode. And because now you know how the game works, you know a lot of the cards that we've played, the next episodes are going to be a lot faster. In fact, I expect that in the future, you know, many episodes ahead, you're going to be well familiar with the game. I'm going to just, you know, run through it and explain my thought processes very quickly, to the point where we might even have multiple runs per episode. But, you know, it takes time to learn, so of course, first episodes are going to be longer. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, feel free to leave any feedback in the comments. Stay mindful. Wait, let me do the counting. Stay mindful, eat fruit, and don't multiply. Peace.